Good afternoon and welcome to Norcal APEX Accelerator's webinar, How to Do Business with the Government. This is a high-level introductory training covering government contracting skills you'll need no matter where you plan to contract. My name is Amanda Anderson. I'm the Program Coordinator for Norcal APEX Accelerator, and today I'm joined by our fantastic procurement specialist, Thomas Burns, to help you figure out if government contracting is going to be right for you. But before I pass it over to Thomas, I do want to let you know a little bit about our program, Norcal APEX Accelerator, and how APEX accelerators across the country can help you with government contracting. So, APEX Accelerators is a nationwide network of over 90 centers that are funded by federal, state, and local government agencies to provide businesses just like yours with education and training so that you can contract with government agencies in your area. And because we are funded by the government agencies that want to do business with you, we are lucky enough to offer all of our resources at absolutely no cost. Now, we offer assistance with government contracting at absolutely no cost, but what exactly does that assistance look like? Well, at NorCal Apex Accelerator, we're able to offer our assistance to the 15 Northern California counties that you see on your screen. And we offer our assistance through three main pillars. First, our one-on-one counseling, where if you are within our service area, you can sign up with us as a client and you'll be connected with a procurement specialist, just like Thomas Burns, who can sit down with you one-on-one over Zoom or possibly in person if you're in Humboldt County. We do have a in-person office where we offer counseling on Cal Poly Humboldt campus. But once you are paired with your procurement specialist, you'll be able to meet with them one-on-one to discuss anything related to government contracting. From doing the initial market research to figure out what government agencies you want to target, to helping you get the certifications and complete your registrations to be able to do government contracting and be certified to help the government agencies meet those goals. We can even help with you reviewing the solicitations that you want to bid on, something you would like to do for this government agency. And once you win your first contract, we can even help maintain compliance by helping you review the paperwork and make sure you're submitting all the documents you need to. Another fantastic benefit of joining us for one-on-one counseling is you also get access to custom bid matching. Now, custom bid matching is a software that our program pays for and is able to offer to our clients at absolutely no cost. And what it does is it allows you to sit down with your counselor and determine what kind of criteria you're looking for in a good solicitation for your business. Maybe your business can only perform services in a certain geographic location. Or maybe you're working on something really innovative and really niche, new to the market, and you want to figure out if there's opportunities. Then that product could be your criteria. The custom bid matching is something you sit down with your counselor and they can help you determine what criteria would get you relevant solicitations. And we input them into this software and it searches federal, state, and local procurement sites for opportunities based on that criteria. And it emails those opportunities directly to you. It can take a lot of the tediousness out of finding these government contracting opportunities just completely out of the equation. And it's a fantastic service that we are able to offer to our clients, again, at absolutely no cost to you. Our third and final pillar is one that's very near and dear to my heart, and one you're actually taking advantage of today. We put on many trainings just like this, both virtual and in person throughout our service area. And they cover a variety of topics from introductory level trainings like today's to more intermediate topics like getting your certifications, getting your registrations, maybe signing up for some mentor protege programs. And we even cover more advanced topics like some of the federal trainings we have coming up very soon. I believe next Tuesday we'll be talking about federal contract terminations and how you can prepare your business to really handle that. On top of all of our trainings, we maintain a robust website with tons of links and resources on federal, state, and local procurement, which you can explore at absolutely no cost. And the best part of this particular pillar is no matter where you are in the US, you are welcome to join our trainings and you're welcome to check out our webinar recordings on our website, as well as the other many resources that we have on our website. It is all available and there to help you. But if you're looking for further help in government contracting, I would highly recommend looking up your local APEX Accelerator. Remember, we are a nationwide network that's funded to help businesses just like you at absolutely no cost. So if you haven't had a chance to connect with your local APEX Accelerator, that link on these slides, which you will be getting within a week of today, will help you find your local APEX Accelerator and connect with them for one-on-one counseling. And if you are within our 15 county service area, please connect with us directly. We would love to help you with your government contracting goals. And so with that, I would love to pass it off to Thomas to explain what exactly is government contracting.
Good morning, everyone. Amanda, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate how you introduce everything and what we do. Looking forward to this webinar. This is one of the webinars that we put on a kind of a regular basis. I believe it's a great opportunity to really get an understanding of what you're looking at when you look at the government contracting space and its opportunity. Okay. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, what is government contracting? So on the left, as you can see, the common industries. Actually, in my opinion, I would say 80% of government contracting falls within these spaces. For example, public works is anything construction related, everything from road, bridge, highway, and of course, the construction of buildings. Professional services is extremely broad. Just to touch on a few, you're looking at consulting. That's a big, and consulting can take every form, such as leadership training or management training. It also includes accounting, legal, and any other what we would consider a professional service that the government needs to help them do their job for us, the public. Office supplies is self-explanatory. Janitorial can also include landscaping, um, a myriad of services related to facilities, right? Maintaining buildings. IT, of course, is extremely huge because it includes not just hardware but software, anything related to IT. And yes, every single government entity has that need. So there's contracting opportunities when it comes to IT everywhere, from the smallest school district to, of course, the largest federal agency. Medical suppliers, technology, that of course leads you into every single government funded or sponsored hospital or medical center. The big one, of course, is the Veterans Administration, but most counties will have one to several county hospitals. I live in San Francisco. Here in San Francisco, UCSF is a major hospital here, but they've got like eight or nine, maybe even 10 different facilities. And so they spend, millions every year in various supplies and technology. And then, of course, transportation and, of course, the fire and defense. On the right side, as you can see, these are services and products that the government would not be involved in for the most part. There's always an exception to the rule. For example, under restaurant, I actually have a lot of clients that are in the catering industry, and government does use caterers for certain situations, but for the most part, you're looking at the right side in terms of what government really does purchase on a continuous basis. All right, next slide. Uh-oh, did I go too far? Okay, there we go. My mouse is very tricky all of a sudden. Okay, I really enjoy this slide because when you're being introduced to government contracting, this is just one prison in the state of California. And as you look through this list, see if your product or service is represented here. Right, everything from I'm looking at grease trap pumping. Okay. I don't know what all that would entail in terms of how many different industries that could touch upon, but as you can see, there are so many different products and services that are illustrated with this one institution. And if you fall in this area, as an institution or even maybe within a hospital, how many exist throughout your state, and then how many exist throughout your or the United States, right? And so you can see just how big government contracting can be, regardless of what the product or service you sell. Now let's discuss a recipe for success. Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't miss a slide. Okay, so here is just a fundamental basics, right? You want to start here if you're truly serious about breaking into government contracting space. Establishing a business, of course, right? The link SBDC stands for Small Business Development Center. Here in California, I think there's one in every single county. I don't know how it is through, outside of California, but if you need help establishing your business, the small business development centers can do that. And anytime you see these links like this, these are, as Amanda mentioned, these slides will be available. And so all of these links will work. So you'll be able to go to directly what we're talking about once we get through. And then again, having a business plan. It is really important, and I'm going to go into more details on why establishing a business plan for government contracting is important. But essentially, and I'll repeat this throughout, um, less is more, right? Coming up with a plan that gives you some focus versus saying, I want to do business with everybody. You want to narrow down who you really want to do business with when it comes to government contracting, because 99% of the time, you won't be able to do business with everybody. And we'll go into that why. Actually, financial stability is one of those reasons. It costs, right? It costs money to start off doing business with the government. Maybe not in actual dollars, but definitely in time. And as a business owner, we all know time equals money. And so if you're running around without a clear plan and you're trying to do business with the Army on the East Coast, with the U.S. Forestry on the West Coast, with some agency in the South and some agency in the Midwest, and you're all over the place, you're going to lose opportunities, and you're not really going to be focused. Also, when it comes to financial stability, when you look at the government, most people understand this, but that they pay after services are provided, right? So whether you're selling them products, widgets, whether it's automobiles, refrigerators, whatever it is you're selling them, you have to deliver, then you submit your invoice for payment. And that could take 30, 60, up to 90 days. And if it's a service-based something, it's a service like consulting, and you have a 12-month contract, it's you do 1 month, you submit your invoice, and you wait to get paid. Can you manage that? Is that something you can handle when you first get started? Past performance. This is really important. When you're trying to break into government contracting, it is really important to have some type of history of performance of sales with some commercial entity, right? We're not saying you need, a year's worth of history to even think about government contracting, but have something, because the government is risk adverse. That's the words I use. They don't want to give a contract to a company that has zero past performance. They shy away. There's so many other competitors and good companies out here. It's so much easier to award a contract to somebody that has some past performance. Market research. It's really important that you do some market research before you just jump into government contracting, trying to figure out where should you focus your energy. And having an e-commerce site that is compatible just means you want to let the industry know that you also care and want to do business with government. And we'll have some examples, so I'll get to that later. Next slide, or should I take a question or two, Amanda? What do you think? I did see the Q&A pop up a couple times. I wasn't sure if they were for now, or maybe I can address them at the end.
Yeah, there is one question, and I'm happy to read it out.
Sure.
Karen was wondering if they're in that less common industry category. Say, for instance, she's a retail business that sells products that she purchases from a wholesaler. Would they still qualify for government contracts? And I want to emphasize she does ask qualify.
So yes, you can qualify. Yes, you can. You can go through the process of on this page right that I'm about to talk about, how to get started, right? You can qualify, register with a city or county. I'm not sure what agency you're looking to do business with, but yes, you can qualify. The challenge is being able to compete, because you're competing with distributors and manufacturers who are selling products at a cost that you may not be able to compete with. That's one of the reasons why retail just doesn't work for government contracting, because they don't buy at a retail price. They're going to buy at a wholesale price.
Yeah. And I know you and our other procurement specialists are always advising, like, you can absolutely get into it. It's just a balance of, is it going to be worth the time and effort
Right.
to recoup your costs?
That's the reason for our webinar today.
Yeah, perfect. And that was
Okay.
the only question, so we can continue on.
All right. Perfect. Yeah, getting started. So applying for Apex Accelerator assistance really is important. I'm sure this link takes you to the page that shows at least where you can find your Apex Accelerator wherever you are in the United States. Choosing your NAICS, it's rhymes with cakes, NAICS, and UNSPSC, United Nations Service Product Codes. And as far as I know, California, the state of California, not the cities and counties, but the state agencies of California are the only ones that really utilize the UNSPSC codes. What are these codes? These codes are used to classify industry. It helps the government to be able to say, as an example, professional services falls into this classification number. And then under that, for example, I think it's 55. I'm not sure. Let's just say it's 50. And then under that, 55 111 or 112 is a different type of professional service. So it makes it easy for government to organize products, services, and industries, which then helps us, the business community, really be able to do research to figure out what the government is buying. So that's really what's important about NEXT codes and UNSPSC codes. It helps us do market research. We can figure out what they're spending money on by utilizing these codes. So understanding what your codes are also helps you to understand how much money the government is spending on your codes. And then, of course, registering and certifying your company on Cal eProcure. This is if you want to do business with the state of California, right? Cal eProcure is managed and operated by Department of General Services, and it is the portal where you can see larger solicitations within the 233 state agencies of California. This is not how you want to, if you want to do business with cities and counties, you go directly to those websites for those cities and counties. This is just the state of California. And then the next bullet point is sam.gov. And we'll go a little bit more into that, but SAM is the portal if you want to do business with the federal government. And when you register correctly in SAM, you are given a UEI number and a cage code. One of the services that we spend a great deal of our time with is helping our clients get registered correctly on SAM and registering and getting certified as a small business on Cal eProcure. Completing your dynamic small business search. We just call it the DSBS profile. This is a secondary database that's connected to sam.gov, right? And so let's say you finished your SAM and the contracting officers within the federal government want to see more about your business that's in SAM. So they go to the DSBS profile, this dynamic small business search, and they can see more about your company, such as the keywords, past performance. You can actually upload references that positive references about your past work and your capability statement, along with keywords. Just as a quick FYI, currently this website is not available for you to upload and take full advantage of because they're doing some work on it. I think they'll be done hopefully within the month of July, and then it'll be 100% accessible. The next bullet point is create your capability statement. Again, we have a link. I think we'll even have a quick example, but a capability statement is essentially a business card for your company. The government created this document. They wanted a simple one-page, in some cases it could be 2 pages, but basically a one-page document that tells them everything they need to know about your company. And then again, making sure your website is government friendly. We have a couple examples, so I'll go into that as we get to it. And then, as I mentioned before, you've got to identify your target agencies. It's virtually impossible to say, I'm going to do business with everybody. You have to pick. But that's a great opportunity to figure out where is your best opportunity to have success with government contracting. All right, let's go to the next slide. Government certifications. So this is just a quick overview. We also do webinars specifically on certifications if you want to know more. But overall, certifications come in 2 forms. The federal government has their small business classifications, which lead to certifications, right? The SB or SDB, the small disadvantaged business, is something you do when you are registering on sam.gov. So it's a self-certifying one. The government's not going to check your answers. Everything else you have to apply for through a rigorous process and be awarded a certification. So the women-owned small business, veteran-owned, hub zone, the 8A, which is a little different, that's actually a program. It's a 9-year certification program. The overall difference is in this one, the 8A is 9 years. Within that 9-year period, the goal is to take you from a small business to actually a large company in terms of receiving so many opportunities and so many contracts. I don't have the statistics that tells me how many times they achieve this successfully. But you know, if you're interested and you want to know more information about the 8A program and how successful it is, sign up for our service so we can really help you do that research. And the disadvantaged business enterprise is through Caltrans. Well, Caltrans is the California Transportation. On the federal side, it's the Department of Transportation. They're the ones that created the program, but it's rolled out to every single state has their own DBE certification program. And then on the state side here in California, we essentially have three. One is for small businesses, one is for small businesses that are into public works or construction, and the other one is for disabled veteran business enterprises. As I said, very, very high level, not going to get into too many details, but if you want to know more information specifically about certifications, reach out to us or wait for our upcoming webinar. Any pertinent questions, Amanda, or can I just move on? Whoop.
It looks like we do have one. Let me go ahead.
Okay. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Go ahead.
So Rana was wondering if, given the current administration, do we think that set-asides for certifications such as those will exist in a year or two? It's a very hard question to anticipate, but if you have any notes on what you're seeing, I think she would appreciate that.
So here's the facts that I do know.
Yeah.
So the Biden administration increased the participation goals, the percentages. Um, for example, I believe the 8A went from 5% to 15%, and the WOSB went from 5% to maybe 10 or 15%. So he increased all of the goals that federal agencies must spend with these small business certifications. This administration rolled it back to what it was before it was increased. Um, do I think they're going to completely remove? I do not think so. Um, they rolled it back to what it was before the Biden administration. If they wanted to effectively kill it, they could have done it then, but they didn't. So, in my opinion, I would venture to say that they're still going to be here for some time.
Yeah. And
Okay.
please do trust that as an Apex Accelerator, we are keeping a very close eye, especially on the certifications, but on all of the procurement changes that are going on. So if that's any more of an incentive to connect with not only us at Norcal APEX Accelerator, but any other Apex Accelerator in the country, they can help you keep up to date with the changes, how they could affect your government contracting strategy, and so much more. So please do so if you feel like it would benefit you.
All right. Thank you. So, local contracting, as it says, a great way to get your feet wet. What this means is, in many situations, it's just a little bit of an easier method to break into government contracting, especially when you look at smaller cities and school districts and transportation agencies. Um, a quick example would be if you have a city of 50,000 people, that city government might only have 5 contracting officers total for the whole city. And it's easier. I won't say very easy, but it's easier to establish some type of rapport, relationship, and get them to know who you are and see you as a professional, which can lead to a contracting opportunity. That same forecasted policy of just reaching out, building a relationship with, say, the Army or the Navy is extremely different versus what you could experience with a small city or a school district. At the same time, they have budgets, right? They also have to spend money to maintain their city, their county, their school district. They all have buildings. They all need consultants. So the same level of services is still there. It's just the dollar amount is going to be smaller. So you have a chance to break in, gain that past performance, really understand if this is right for you. Let's say you win a $30,000 contract. It's only for 6 months. It's for some kind of professional services, and you're not going to get paid until you finish it. That's a good start off. Can you make that? I mean, are you financially able to handle a contract that requires you to put 4 or 5 months of effort up front and not see payment until you're complete? If you can handle that, you can handle, bigger contracts. Um, Local business preferences. So this is the only other certification program that's pretty consistent throughout, and I want to say throughout the United States when it comes to cities and counties. Larger cities and counties will make efforts to award contracts to businesses that are based in their city or county. So San Francisco has a very robust local business enterprise LBE certification program. As we see on the screen, so does Alameda, San Jose, and Oakland. And to find out if your county or city has that, just reach out to them or go to their website and do some research. One quick final note. Amanda had mentioned that our website, apexnorcal.org, does a great job in this area. Under local contracting, we have a link, and this will take you right to it. We already give you the links to the cities, counties, and transportation agencies in our territory in Northern California that take you right there. Okay, next slide. This is a typical structure you would see for a large contract. A quick example would be um, state of California, Caltrans wants to do a major road improvement for a large highway like 101. That's a larger highway out here in the Bay Area. Um, it's going to be $20 million over the year. Typically, one, sometimes two, but normally one company will win that contract. And then they will be mandated. The Caltrans will mandate that 20%, 15%, 25%, they will specify how much has to be also shared and awarded with smaller firms, i.e., the subcontractors. And in a lot of situations, that's how a small business can break into subcontracting. I mean, break into contracting, government contracting, by being a subcontractor. Any pertinent questions that came up related to this or the previous slide?
Not at this time.
Okay, great. Um, okay. I had mentioned before making
Oh,
sure that your website is government contracting ready. This is a good example of what we mean. You can devote one landing page to just government contracts. So when a contracting officer receives your CAP statement, right, your capability statement via email, or you're discussing an opportunity with them. You direct them to your website and they can see all this really good information about your company, your past performance, your bios. There's so much more information you can share that you can expand on your capability statement by having this page. And it just helps to identify you as a firm that is serious about doing business with government.
And Thomas, just really quick, I fear we may have skipped a slide about
Let me see.
capability statements.
Oh, there it is. It's, my mouse is really acting up. I might have to
Technology
ask
is
you
always
to just say
finicky.
next slide because it's missing things.
That works for me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you. Capability statement. This is the document that the government created, and they would prefer businesses utilize this document when you're introducing your company to them, specifically to the contracting officers and program managers within government agencies. This is a downloadable template. It's on our website, and it's a great tool to help you design your capability statement. These are the bullet points of what you must have on that document, right? You want to have some past performance. Who are your key clients? Of course, the question is, well, I'm new. I don't have any key clients. I don't have any past performance. What do I do? How do I utilize this? There are situations, depending on what your product or service is in your business, where you can utilize your past performance that you've done working for another company. That may not apply in every situation, but yes, it can work. If you have 10 years of experience in landscaping, but you worked as a manager or you ran a team for another company and now you have your own company, there's a way to utilize that experience in your new capability statement with your new company. So just as an example. Next slide, please. And I kind of covered this, but I just want to say on the yeah, just real quick, here is some of the information that you can present on your government page, right? All of these bullet points on the left side. Next slide, and we'll see another example. Now, this company here, of course, has years of experience. They've done a lot of government work, and so it's a lot easier for them. But you can also think out of the box. So maybe you have more work with private industry. You can still highlight that, right? If you've done work with private industry, um, regardless of what it is, having something to show is much better than having nothing at all. And they're very clear on their next codes, and they show that, and helps the government really understand why they should care about your company. Next slide, please. All right. My favorite part, marketing the government agencies. I'm a huge proponent of not just waiting on a solicitation to hit your email, filling out the solicitation and submitting your bid, and just doing that as a way to win government contracting. I'm much more of a fan of being more aggressive, going after the opportunity by marketing to the government. So, how do you do that? How do you market to the government in a way that is professional and can achieve some success? So here's the overall list, right? You want to first create a marketing plan by you doing the research to figure out what agencies you should be focused on based on their past buying history. And then you want to network with the buyers and the what I would call the program managers. Just an overview. So the contracting officer buys what they're told to buy, right? They're not the ones that are coming up with what we're going to buy. Their boss does that. the program managers and are the ones that figure out what that agency needs. And then the government, I mean, the contracting officer is in charge of just going out and getting those things. So developing relationships with both of those titles is really important within a government agency. Also, working with prime contractors, getting to know them, and of course, other small businesses, because there could be plenty of opportunities to partner and work together to get that first contract. The one that's also my favorite is attending expos, matchmakers, conferences, and trade shows. That's what I did for my 20-year career. Is I loved attending these events, whether I was an exhibitor and I had a booth, or I was just an attendee visiting and networking and collecting business cards, handing out mine, and learning as much as I can, and then doing the required follow up, right? It's always about the follow up. You're not going to make a sale at these events, but building those relationships, knowing who the decision makers are, is the importance of attending these events. Participating in training, that could take a lot of different formats, but essentially, participating in trainings basically allows you to, again, be in a room setting or in an environment where you get to network with like-minded people who are either looking for opportunities to do business with the government, or you have government agencies looking to do business with small businesses. Social media is really important, especially LinkedIn. From my own research, and I'm not 100% accurate on this, but from my research, 90% of all government agencies, whether it's federal, city, state, county, have a LinkedIn profile. I can't tell you how many times I've had my sessions with my clients, and we're trying to find somebody, and we can't find them on the website, but we can find them on LinkedIn. So develop a LinkedIn profile, um, work with it, and start connecting and having followers, and utilize that to find individuals that might be hard to find within the normal channels of going to visit their website. Small business representatives, or sometimes they're called small business specialists or small business advocates. These are the individuals hired by government. They work for the government, but their job is to help contracting officers within that agency spend more money with the small business community. And then their other job is to make sure that the small business community has the right information, knowledge, and access to that agency. So they play that middleman role of helping to connect the contracting officers with the buyers and the buyers with the contracting officers. But they are also a gatekeeper. So understand, if you don't present yourself correctly to the small business representative, they're not going to be favorable in connecting you with the contracting officers that they work with. So building a solid professional relationship is important when you're talking with them. And I mentioned this before, but the Dynamic Small Business Search, it is essentially a tool that the federal government, it's only on the federal side, the federal government utilizes when they're looking for small businesses to connect with. So having a robust DSBS profile is important. Next slide, please. All right, so finding bid opportunities. Um, we have some good information on this slide. I'm really going to focus on the procurement pages and local agency websites because there tends to be a misunderstanding or misnomer. When you look at wanting to do business with a particular city, a county, a transportation agency, and your state, whatever state you are in, Of course, they're going to have a website, they're going to have a portion of that page or that website that's designed to make it, supposed to make it easy for you to see new solicitation offers and opportunities. The challenge is every single city, county, they all do it different, right? Everybody is different. And so it tends to get confusing um, when you're first breaking in. One of the things we've done is try to help you by having a list, especially here in Northern California, that will take you directly to their doing business with us page or their procurement page. Because sometimes it really is buried, right? And if you get frustrated, I can understand why, because sometimes they don't make it easy. This link will take you to our website, which will help you in that endeavor. Cali Procure, state of California, I think they do a wonderful job of making it easy to see bid opportunities because it's on the home page. When you go to Cali Procure, you just click on events, and any day there could be anywhere from 200 to 500 brand new solicitations that are just listed right there. Now, on the federal side, sam.gov, when you click on contracting opportunities on the homepage, and you just put in a keyword, and you'll get a list, right? You'll get a list, and um, the better you understand how to utilize the filters on SAM, the better you'll be able to find the solicitations you're really looking for. We provide this kind of training and service on our one-on-one sessions. So that would be one reason to sign up for our services, is because we can take something that might take you hours to figure out, and in one 45-minute session, we can knock that out for you. We can provide you with the training you need to get the information quick, fast, and in a hurry, instead of taking you forever to learn it. Acquisition.gov is a federal site. It's actually a pretty good site. They cram a lot of information on acquisition.gov, but essentially it's the one area where federal agencies are supposed to post their new and upcoming procurement forecast opportunities. So if you want to know what the Department of Veterans Administration is going to be buying in 2026, that's where you would go, to acquisition.gov. And excuse me. And then of course, on a local side, every area throughout the United States, they have builders exchanges, they have chamber of commerces. Those can also be a great tool to find solicitation and bid opportunities. And of course, we offer the bid match service that Amanda already discussed. Um, Close to finishing, but is there any pressing question?
Yeah, but I think that these could be very
Wait
good
to the end.
questions to wrap up
Okay.
on. So
Okay.
please do feel free, if anybody in the audience has more questions, please enter them into the Q&A section so we can track them very easily. And we'll be doing a full wrap-up Q&A right at the end of this presentation.
All right. Next slide, please. Okay. Your 10 steps to success. So I think step one is what we kind of talked about here for the most part. Making sure you're ready for government contracting. And that means, are you financially ready? Have you done some market research? Are you in business making sales on a commercial side on some level, right? You don't want government to be your first contract. So determining if you're ready for government contracting. Applying for our services. I think we've explained the value we offer and why it can really be a great help to you. Complete the getting started checklist. This is important. This is part of the webinar that you'll be receiving, so you'll get a copy of this. Getting certified and your capability statement and updating your website, all those are tools that will help you once you've decided, yes, you want to do business with the government, and yes, you've decided it is federal or it's going to be state, city, or county. Once you've made the decision where you're going to focus your energy, then the certification, the cap statement, and updating your website really will come into play. So making sure you're doing it in that context, right? You want to make sure you've done your due diligence before you just jump in and say, I want to go and get certified. With who, where, and why. So having those answers first will help you narrow your pinpoint. Networking, building relationships and marketing your business correctly. You want to make sure when I do the marketing your business and networking, so that you're not making the little mistakes that can really hurt you in the long run, right? One of them is going after a contract that is just too big. It's you bid it way too low. You won the contract, but now you can't deliver or you're going to lose money. That's a that's a horror story. And it does, unfortunately, does happen. You're so eager to win that first contract that you underbid it, and the government's not really forgiving in those areas. And it can ruin your ability moving forward with government contracting. So marketing and really making sure you understand what you're going into when you network and build those relationships is really important. Locating the bid opportunities, but focusing on where you want to focus your energy, right? If you say you want to go after cities within 100-mile radius of where your business is located, because you're a landscaper. I used that before, and you only can cover a certain territory. Wonderful, but don't start submitting RFP solicitations or bidding on things that are outside of that network because it looks great. It simply just probably won't work for you. Um, and then again, just keep at it, right? It's guaranteed success is not guaranteed in the first 3 months, first 6 months, first 9 months. Um, but if you keep at it and you really work hard and network, you will win those contracts at some point. All right. What's the next slide? I believe it's the who we are.
Yes,
Would you like to do the honors?
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
So that was a lot of information, but all in all, if you walk away from today with nothing but this, I do hope you walk away knowing that Norcal APEX Accelerator and the nationwide APEX Accelerator program is a resource for you and your business to help support your government contracting goals. So if you haven't had a chance to connect with your local Apex Accelerator, or if we're your local Apex Accelerator, I highly recommend you do so. It's a absolutely no cost resource where you can have a procurement specialist just like Thomas Burns in your corner coaching you through government contracting. It's truly invaluable and absolutely no cost. So please do sign up if you are interested in branching into government contracting. And before we go into our questions, which we do have quite a few, I do want to let you know a little bit about our upcoming trainings. We have a lot of federally focused trainings coming up, and some of our more recent, our closer events are listed here, including an overview of federal contracting certifications for small businesses on August 5th. And the fantastic Thomas Burns will also be presenting that one. We'll also be going over an introduction to defense contracting. So, learning how to contract with the Department of Defense on August 13th. And then we have a few other ones, and actually quite a number more on our website. But some other ones I wanted to highlight for you folks is federal contracting, tools to succeed during uncertainty. We touched really quickly on the changes going on in the federal procurement space, and that webinar will cover the tools that your business needs to ride out that uncertainty and those changes. And then we will also be covering how to interpret DoD solicitations with confidence, avoiding all of those pitfalls that I'm sure our counselors see when their clients come to them. So if you are interested in joining us for some federally focused webinars, you are welcome to register at our website. But for today, I would love to get into these questions as we do still have a few minutes. So someone was wondering if there's advantage for being certified as a woman-owned small business in construction. Do they have set-asides in construction for those certifications?
So the woman-owned small business certification is on the federal side, and the answer is yes. They we can do some research to quickly find out how many times the WOSB has seen a set aside on construction related solicitations. That's a very easy search to do using either sam.gov or USA Spending. But so the answer is yes, but we can do the research to figure that out.
Absolutely. And then Ronnie was wondering, as a subcontractor in the federal space, can you work under prime contractors and would the subcontractor also have to be registered in SAM?
Um, for the most part, yes. It the primes will need the subs to be registered in SAM, I would say 90% of the time. I'm not going to say 100% all the time because there might be contracts where it's not mandatory, but for the most part, yes, the subs need to be registered in SAM.
Fantastic. And then Ethan was wondering, and I actually love this question because it gets into some of the nuance in government contracting. Um, does the lowest bid always win?
So they make it very clear in the solicitation how they're going to evaluate and how they're going to choose the winner. So I'll give you two quick examples. If you are a service-based provider, and I'll go back to training, leadership training. You want to do leadership training, and the solicitation is going to be for a 12-month period, classes every month for 12 months, right? They're going to say within the solicitation exactly how they're going to grade and award the contract. For example, past performance will get 200 points. Um, your expertise will get another 200 points. Price will get 300 points. And then there might be two or three other things that they care about, and the total points can be 1,000 or 500. They'll give you some number. So in that scenario, price is not the only thing. Now, reverse it. You want to do a solicitation and it's laptops, and they want to purchase 100 laptops. There's no installation, there's no training. It's just the laptop that they want to buy, and they tell you exactly where they want to deliver it. That is low bid wins, period. Full stop. They don't care about your past performance. Well, I won't say they don't care, but they really care about, are you coming in at the lowest bid possible? You know, which is where you can kind of be more competitive against certain larger firms if you have the ability to bid lower than them and still make a profit. As I gave the example before, you don't want to bid that low and you cannot make a profit. Why do this?
Absolutely. And
Any other
with
questions?
that is all the
Oh,
questions we
okay. Well,
have,
great. Well, great.
which is perfect for timing as we are just a couple minutes over. So I thank you everybody for staying a little bit late with us. And thank you so much for joining us today. And
Yeah,
Thomas,
really
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much for the presentation. It's
My
all
pleasure.
such
It's been
good
fun.
detail. As you all exit the webinar, you will be redirected to our feedback survey. And actually, today's feedback is quite important. This is our first of quite a few afternoon webinars. So if you have a brief moment and would like to let us know how you like this 2 p.m. start time, or maybe you prefer the AM, or maybe you want to see a certain topic covered in these trainings, please do let us know in our feedback survey. We really do put on these trainings to support you and your businesses. So if we could be doing better to support you with different topics or different times, the only way we're going to know is if you tell us. But on the flip side, if you think this was perfect, you love the 2 p.m. timing, you'd love to see more introductory content like this is also the place to let us know about that, and we do review it. So your input is extremely valuable to us. So if you have a moment, we would of course appreciate it. And with that, thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a
Okay.
great day, everybody.